man.
Hey, what's going on, Dell? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I'm gonna ask you this first because I think I know because I'm a fan of the group, and I'm not even gonna mention the group. I'm gonna let you do that.
Okay.
But let people know where the name comes from. 14K Slum Media Wizard.
Oh, okay. That's a lyric from Raekwon from Wu Tang. A song called Guillotine.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. That name was actually given to me, and I thought it was funny because I knew the lyric, so I had to go with it. It was too good.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was listening to I listen to Wu Tang a lot actually. So I was listening to him the other day. Have you heard the new Raekwon album just came out?
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
It is pretty good. It is
Yeah.
pretty good. I listened to it today for the first time.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I'm a few days off on it, but yeah, it was pretty good.
right.
I don't have it quite, even though I'm lifetime. I'm much more a Wu Tang fan, but I don't have it quite as high as the new Clips album. How about you?
Oh no, 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 no. Clips album is album of the year. It's
So
album of the year
far,
so
yeah,
far. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh
they
no.
they knocked it out the park.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
They knocked it out the park. So I gotta ask every hip hop fan that comes on here,
Hmm.
top five. Who's your top five
Albums or rappers?
rappers, MCs?
Okay, that's something that switches all the time. But Redman's up there. It's no in particular order. Redman, J. Rue the Damager, Nas. Uh, man, I gotta put KRS and Kane up there. So that's my top five right now.
I actually love that top five, and I'm gonna say kudos to you because not a lot of people give J. Rue those kind of props. J. Rue was the
He's
man.
incredible.
Yeah, yeah, he was definitely the man. One of the best albums of the '90s, and just didn't quite work out for him the rest of the way, but he was the man.
Nah, he was the prophet.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. All
Mm-hmm.
right, now we talked a little bit backstage about collecting,
Mm-hmm.
and you had asked me how long I've been collecting, and I
Right.
let you know I've been collecting close to 20 years. I've been doing
Mm,
this, off and on. You go through some lulls where you're not collecting as much.
right.
So I'm gonna ask the same question: how long you been collecting?
I've been collecting since 1996.
It's
So
almost 30 years now.
yeah, that's about 29 years.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. The
So you
VHS days, there were no DVDs. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Mm,
I had some VHSs before then. I didn't consider myself a collector though,
right.
and that's about the time I started. Well, my first son was born in '97, so from
Mm,
'97 to about '04, '05, whatever VHSs I had, most of them was like Disney stuff for them to watch. Keep them quiet sometime when I needed
yeah.
when I needed a minute.
That's
It
how
was
most
like,
collections start.
yeah, 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 yeah. Do you still have any of those old VHSs, or you moved on completely?
I still have some of them. Some I'm not going to give away. I keep the Disney stuff mostly because that's how I started out. My mother was buying those tons of those things, so I keep
Hmm.
those. I keep a lot of the horror stuff, of course, like the horror community does. And yeah, um, the first tape I ever bought was Halloween, so uh, that solidified like the whole horror thing for me.
So since we brought up Halloween, is that one your favorite in the franchise, or you got a different one?
In the Halloween franchise,
Yeah.
yeah, the original.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm a black sheep because actually Rob Zombie's first Halloween is my favorite out of the
I
group.
like that one. I
Okay.
like it. Yeah.
I I get a lot of flack for it, so I'm a little
Well,
worried about it.
listen, the world is split on Rob Zombie movies in general.
True.
Yeah, but
True.
people don't want to admit that some of them are actually pretty good.
Couple. I like that one. I hated his Halloween 2,
Nobody
so
likes that.
you might be surprised. You might be surprised.
I
Um,
haven't heard anyone.
I've heard a couple people that like it, and
Really?
blew my mind too. I wasn't, I was like, how? There's just no way. But
Listen, I
every
get flack.
movie. I was just gonna
Like
say every movie somebody's favorite, but go ahead.
I get flack for liking the Munsters.
I haven't seen it. I
Yeah,
haven't
it's
seen
a
it yet.
mess of a movie, but I liked it. It was fun. It was sweet.
Okay.
Yeah,
I when it came out, I was like, and I saw the trailer for it. I was like, nah, I can't.
that was the whole world. I was all for it. I was all
That
for
was
it.
that was it.
Yep.
All right. If anybody else out there saw the monsters, let me know what y'all thought of it because I grew up watching the monsters on TV,
Mhm.
so I'm kind of curious from that standpoint. But like I said, that trailer was just too much for me. I was like,
No,
no,
it was a
I'm
bad trailer. It was a bad trailer.
okay, okay.
And then-
So is it like a straight up slapstick comedy like it looks, or
Yeah,
what?
yeah. It's more silly than the TV show was. Even though it
That's
was trying
hard.
hard to be like that, it was
Uh huh.
trying to, that psychedelic thing that Rob Zombie does. There's some
Yeah.
of that in there, so it had the Rob Zombie isms. But yeah, again, it was a mess of a movie, but it was fun for me.
Okay. All right. We got a few people out here. Let's see what's going on in the chat. My man Steve, aka Just Moody, was first in. He says, "Hi y'all. What's going on, Steve?"
What's going on?
Uh, Rich Turner fan 77 says, "What's up, everyone? What's going on, Rich?"
Hello.
Rich, keep an eye out on your DMs because I'm gonna send you something a little bit later. He also says he hopes that I had an amazing birthday. My birthday was Friday, and yes, I did. I had
Ah,
a pretty good
happy
birthday.
belated birthday. Oh yeah, I
Thank
did
you.
say that.
You said that
Yeah,
online.
I
Yeah.
did say that. Yep, yep, yep.
Yep. Adrian is here. What's going on, Adrian?
What's up, Adrian?
KB is here. He says, "What's up, party people? What's up, KB?"
What's going on?
I'm waiting for another conversation. Are we on hiatus here, KB? Not for me, but just on your channel because I haven't seen one in a little bit. So if you're on hiatus, then I won't be checking every couple days. All right. Steve says, hey, he's talking to some of the other people in the chat, and that's all good. Uh, have you seen that with T is here? What's going on, T? Greetings, gents.
How
Uh,
you doing?
T, our Yankees looking a little rough here lately.
Yeah.
You a baseball fan, Marcus?
My mother's the big baseball fan, so we go to a game every year. I haven't been to a game this year, but it's on the way. I think.
Okay, now you said you're in Connecticut, so that's Yankee territory, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In my area, Northern Connecticut is, of course, Boston territory.
Well, we don't claim them.
Yes, sir.
Tony is here. What's going on, Tony? Basement Blues.
What's up,
He
Basement
says, "Hey."
Blues?
KB says, "Yes, hiatus moving. That's correct. You did say you were moving. I forgot all about that."
Good
He
luck with the
says
move.
back in August. So cool. So I can let my breath go. I can breathe a little bit. I can exhale. And let's go ahead and let's get to these movies because I think we got a lot to talk about with the first movie, especially. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
let you introduce the people to the movie that
Okay.
that you had me watch. So go ahead and let the people know what you watch.
All right. So the movie I had him watch was Magnolia by Paul Thomas Anderson. Um, it's a hard movie to describe a plot for, and I'm pretty sure we're going to break it down. But I will say that there's 8 or 9 main characters, and they're all dealing with a certain kind of grief or regret. Some of them are looking for forgiveness. A lot of them have guilt, and uh, like Tom Cruise, he's like the king of the incels. His father is Jason Robards, who's a producer of a TV station. Philip Baker Hall is a host of a show that Jason Robards produces. So it's also one of those kind of movies where um, those 8 or 9 main characters connect somehow through a coincidence, and the whole thing is bookmarked by Ricky Jay talking about different stories and of coincidences and chance. Now, the reason I love this movie is because every time I watch it, it's about something different. Uh, Earlier, when I watched it and when it first came out, it was really a cool movie about coincidences and chance. The movie hits so much different now. Now that I'm in my 40s, now it's about um, all these themes, especially about like child abuse and regret and grief. And yeah, how's that?
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. I can definitely see where watch every time you watch it, it being about something different. Because
Mm,
if anybody who hasn't seen it, he said 9 main characters. I mean, there are fully involved stories with all these characters. It's not just, here's this guy and here's this guy and there's that guy.
mm.
They're that are all part of one plot. They're
Right.
each kind of going down their own path. I did have a couple of more people that popped in.
Hmm.
Video Man Gizmo, what's up, Giz? He says, hope all is good. And to my guest, so thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. How you doing?
And Tony says he needs to revisit Magnolia. I can guarantee you that it will be you'll get a lot out of it because, like you said, there's something different
It'll
every
be a
time you
different
look at it.
experience.
Yeah, yeah. Giz just tells him, yeah, raining frogs is always hot. Hot. We'll
Ooh,
get there. We
ooh,
will
ooh.
definitely get there.
Come on.
We'll definitely get there before we get done with that. All right. And KB says, I like to show people Magnolia. Say nothing and see what they think.
Yeah,
That's
me
that's
too.
that's almost cruel and unjust. Almost. I'm.
I've done it times. I mean, they just look at me.
Yeah. I bet. James, 2020 and 21st. This is what's going on, everybody. Still need to check out Magnolia. I would
Hello
say
there.
do it. And James
So,
is the Criterion King or one of the Criterion Kings. So I know he's in hog heaven this month with
oh
the
yeah,
big Criterion sale going on.
I need to go this week.
I went, I went this week and last week. So and there's one more movie I want to get, and I'm just because I can't find it anywhere. We'll see how it goes. Holland is here. Says good evening.
Good evening.
And Agent says he's heard of Magnolia. All right, so let's go ahead and start to dive into it. So
Okay.
the first story and the big story, I would say that's a little more involved than the others is the Tom Cruise Tom
Yeah.
storyline. And he's like a self guru, but like imagine if Hitch, if everybody who's seen Hitch, Will Smith, imagine like if Hitch had an evil twin.
Okay.
I don't,
Yeah. I was about to say you're being kind of nice, but all right. Yeah, I see you now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he's right now,
Mhm.
what we define as toxic masculinity is this
Yeah,
guy.
he would have been
He
big today.
right, right.
Hmm.
And his whole game, his whole stick is basically teaching how guys how to get women in bed. But he's what the youngsters kind of refer to as an F boy. He's not really about anything.
Right.
So
I call him king of the incels.
yeah, definitely 100%.
Mm.
100%. Now his story links up to another story later on. So my first thing was the initial shock of seeing him when we first see him on stage and he's doing his thing. And the first shock of it is Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah.
Because even at this time, Top Gun had been out, the first one, and all these other movies that he had been doing, A Few Good Men, and all these kind of things where he was the firm, where he was just a good guy. So it's
Jerry
like,
Maguire solidified that one.
right, right. So it's kind of like for people seeing back in the '50s, seeing dude pop up in Vertigo as kind of a pervy dude, it was
Yeah.
kind of the equivalent of that. So if I can take you back to the first time seeing it, how did that hit you when the first time you saw Tom Cruise pop up on the screen like that?
When I saw him, I again I was a different person then, so I thought that this was going to be a fun movie
Okay.
because I saw the humor in it all,
Uh huh.
and the whole f boy culture, the whole I don't or understand any of that anyway. I did know what they call hookup gurus. I did know that, so he kind of like looked like one of those, but it almost looked like it was like a parody of those kind of people.
Right. Right. And now, as he hits you,
Oh no, he hits me as just. just toxic masculinity all the way. But
Hmm.
also, his character isn't being fully honest, because we know his history, which
Right,
we're going to
right,
get into. You know.
right. We learn his history as as he goes on. So I guess it's fair, and for anybody out there, we're gonna kind of spoil it, but I think you still have to see it
Hmm.
to piece it all together. Um, his storyline links up with a character we find out later is his dad, and his
Hmm.
dad is kind of laying on his deathbed, and we don't know initially that that's his dad. We just know it's a sick old man there, and he wants to see his son.
Right.
And then he spells it out pretty quickly. He's like, "Hey, that dude is my son."
Hmm.
And we get I forget the actor who plays the dad, but Philip Seymour Hoffman is the
The
caretaker.
caretaker. Yeah. Jason Robards
And
is the actor.
yes, thank you, Jason Robards. And so Philip Seymour Hoffman's character just kind of has to track down and figure out a way to get in touch with this, semi-famous guy because we get the idea that he's kind of on his way up as far as fame goes, and he's doing these big shows and interviews and things like that.
Right.
So we're gonna already get into the weeds a little bit. Uh, if you could speak to how his relationship with his parents, particularly his father, kind of affected Tom Cruise's character.
Okay. Well, his father was constantly cheating on his mother, and while this is going on, his mother is diagnosed with cancer. Um, he leaves the family, leaves his wife, leaves his son behind, and he's left to take care of his mother on his own. And yeah, that's pretty much how it happens. And I think because of that, that kind of turns him into who he is today, which is why I feel like he's being dishonest about a lot of it.
Mhm. And there's a theme going though, because now when you apply it to the rest of the characters, so for me, I found that dishonesty became a theme that ran through. I want to say every plot, every storyline. Is that
Um,
fair?
I wouldn't say dishonesty. I would say denial.
Okay,
There's a lot of denial in the characters.
that might be a better word. That might be a better word. There's a whole lot of denial. Um, and then there's a whole lot of denial with every character, and we continue that when we get into the other storyline.
I
Um,
will say
well,
this:
go ahead.
dishonesty in most of the characters are definitely there. But when we're talking about uh, the caretaker, I wouldn't say he's one of the dishonest ones, or you know.
Not him, but I mean just as a plot point in their connected story with Tom Cruise and the dad, with
Oh
Jason
yeah,
Robards.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I see where you're going
Yeah.
with it. Yeah,
Yes, yes. I don't mean every character is dishonest. Just
got you.
in every storyline, there's dishonesty and denial, like you said. So
Hmm.
I do like that, and we kind of get more of that with another storyline. Excuse me, and
Hmm.
that one's Philip Baker Hall playing Jimmy Gator.
Yes.
Uh, he's the game show host. It's kind of like Are You Smarter Than Fifth Grade kind of game. He's
Yeah.
got kids on one side, adults on the other side. Luis Guzman shows up as one of the adult contestants.
Hilarious.
Uh, yes, hilarious.
That's another thing about this movie. It's funny too.
It's
At
darkly
all
funny.
the despair, there's some funny things in it, and Louis Guzman is pretty funny in this.
It's pretty funny, and the kid sitting across on the other side, not the smart kid who we'll get into, not the super smart kid, but
Nah,
the other kid.
the boy on the other side. Yeah, he's kind of
Yeah.
like he's like the Puerto Rican kid in Fresh. You ever seen Fresh?
Yes, I've seen
Yeah, he's
Fresh.
like
Yes.
loud potty mouth kid.
Yeah, he's definitely a buddy mouth kid, and he's full blown bully. There's no
Yeah,
doubt about it. He's
yep, yep.
full blown bully.
Because he was bullying the adults.
Right, right. He's bullying everybody.
Right.
And that story, the main point of that storyline though is with Jimmy Gator. Like I said, he's the game show host, and he's been running around on his wife for however many years, but he gets some bad news from his doctor.
Hmm.
Uh, he's come down. He's sick also. He's coming down, and he's getting ready to not getting ready to, but he's definitely
He is
advanced
about
stages of cancer also.
yeah, he has about 2 months.
Right, right. And so he tries to reconcile with his daughter.
Mm.
How'd that go?
Um, it didn't go good. He goes to her apartment, tries to let her know what his condition is, and well, first of all, she's full of anxiety. She's a drug addict, and she's crying all the time. And later on, we find out why she is the way she is because of, But he's there to tell her that he's diagnosed with cancer, and she doesn't want to hear any of it. She wants him to leave. She doesn't care.
Right. Now, me watching it for the first time, and I actually watched it twice over the
Really?
last few
You
days,
said
but yeah, I'll explain that later.
okay.
But I'll but watching it the first time, I knew something was off between them. I just
Hmm.
didn't put my finger on what was off between them.
Right.
So, and having some experience with drug addiction in my family and how the people in my family interacted with their parents, it was like, okay, well, maybe this is just the addiction doing the talking, or maybe there's something there that was off. But I just never really put my finger on it.
Yeah,
And
the movie would lead you to believe that that's what it is
right,
because it's supposed to be setting up for a detail that comes later.
right,
But yeah.
right. So at first, I was like, poor guy. Um, I got it that he had been, unfaithful to his wife and all, but at
Mhm.
this point, I'm like, okay, not that I think he's suddenly a good person, but he's trying to make amends, with his daughter at least.
Right.
And I was like, oh well, yeah, poor guy. We'll see how this goes. And she's got another thing happening. She's got a boyfriend. Well, she has a boyfriend, or at least he's got a guy that's on some time, and
Oh, her
she gets,
supplier.
yeah, really
Yeah.
is a supplier.
Mm.
And she's kind of in her own world a lot.
Yeah.
At least that's the impression that I get.
Well,
And
she is a loner. She's a shut in.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And part of that for her is that music, cranks up to 1,000
Yep.
or 11 if you're this is Spinal Tap fan. Um,
Yeah.
she gets a knock on the door from the cops because she's disturbing everybody's peace, and it's John C. Riley who has yet another storyline going on.
Hmm.
So he's taken with her. Soon as she opens the door, he's like in love.
Right.
I I didn't
He
quite understand that, but
um. Listen. I didn't understand it neither. Apparently, because everything is clear. She's high. She's crying. Everything is. She's not well, but he ignores all that or doesn't see it, and I
right.
don't understand how. But he is taken with her 100%.
Yeah, soon as she opens the door. Um, I'll say this: John C. Reilly did a great job acting. But what did you think of his character overall? Because I have some thoughts about his character and his storyline actually.
Yeah. Again, the first time I've seen it, he just seems like a nice guy. Now I see like he's kind of controlling.
Mm,
He's like when he's talking to her, he's like talking to her in a certain fashion, or even like in the beginning of the movie where he's just a regular cop, but he's still behaving like he's a sergeant or someone somewhere in the ranks. Or
mm.
later in the movie where he just stops somebody from doing a crime and he's not even on duty. So I think his character now is kind of a control freak.
Yeah, and I think the stopping somebody from doing a crime was kind of accidental.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like real
Well, it was
accidental.
You mean like it was a chancy thing, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah?
He's kind of riding by,
Hmm.
and looks at the guy, and the guy just takes off running. So he's like, "Oh well, I got to chase this guy." And
Oh yeah, that was another situation I was talking about much later in the movie.
yeah, when he lost his gun, right?
Yeah, no, that was somewhere in the middle. I'm talking like when he sees William H. Macy.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we didn't get
Yeah,
there yet.
that's a third crime. Yeah, that's a third
Right.
crime. For
But
me,
that's an
yeah, he was.
important part where he loses the gun, and
Yes, it
I
is.
think his name is Dixon, the kid.
I think so. I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure. Um, I It was an important part. I'm not sure I really liked how they got there
Mm,
because I mean, I just didn't like the way the kid was portrayed. Let me put it that way.
mm,
He's standing around, he's rapping nonsense, and not for nothing, it sounded like a white dude wrote this rap, like a square white dude, not Eminem, like
yeah.
just whoever was writing this movie was like, oh, I can write a rap. So
Mm,
and Uh, but just the fact that he's standing there, he's trying to rap to this cop and tell him that this is how you solve a crime, and then
mm.
he just pops in every now and again to do silliness, and then he grabs a gun. So I really didn't care how they portrayed this particular character, and
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
I think well his character wasn't fleshed out enough.
Right.
I think his character had purpose, but I think all the rapping and him just always being in a place at a certain time, at the right time, no less,
Yeah.
was kind of like, well, the word is pretentious. It was artsy. It was like there to be showy.
Yeah.
But
And
again,
convenient.
yeah, but his character, uh, well, his character becomes useful later in the movie, as we're about to get into with another character.
Right.
But
Right.
but the portrayal of that character just seems like it wasn't fleshed out enough for me.
Yeah, it wasn't at all. And even the beginning, with the first crime when he's went in the woman's house and he finds the bodies, I thought we were gonna get more from that, but then that kind of just disappeared. Um, and that
Well,
was like one of the early scenes.
I think she's supposed to be like his mother or grandmother, Dixon's grandmother or mother or
I
something
never
like
picked up on that.
that. When she was in, I get what you're saying because they arrested her, and then there's like clips of her being interrogated,
Mhm.
and they kept asking about her son.
Right.
Help us protect your son, that kind of thing. And I think that's what the connection is between them two. But again,
Okay.
it wasn't fleshed out enough.
Not at all. Not at all. So it
Mm,
kind of led me to believe, you know, that at least that character, or maybe they could have done it a different way, but you could have trimmed it down or even cut it out
mm,
and still got what you needed from the John C. Raleigh character.
right. Yeah. No,
So,
I agree.
okay, let's see if anyone else is talking about Magnolia out here really quickly. Let's see. I thought I marked that, but all right. Again, it says best thing with Magnolia is that it is a totally original work, no remake, no book adaptation, just pure original.
True. He was
I'm gonna
28
be
when he wrote.
honest. Yes, I agree with you. It is a totally original, but man, that's a low bar these days. That is a low bar.
Have you been to the movie theater these days?
Yeah, I know.
You
I
look at the
know.
posters, it's just like, oh man.
Yeah, yeah. We gotta be better. Thank God for sinners this year.
Yes.
And yeah, KB agrees. Uh, he says Magnolia will probably be the last serious drama Cruise ever does. That is sad, but
Mm.
Kubrick broke him the year before with Eyes Wide Shut, so it was just that Tom Cruise said yes to one last film.
So
And
that has
he's
been
also
true.
getting, yeah.
No, he
He,
did The Last Samurai and uh I did a couple dramas after that.
was Last Samurai after Magnolia, or was
It was
after?
after. Yeah.
Okay, okay, so maybe. And he's getting to a point where he can't keep doing stunts forever.
Yeah.
You know.
unless he plans on
So
retiring.
yeah,
I say
yeah. So
he still have dramatic work left in him.
yeah. Whether or not we'll get it, who knows? See, Mika is here. She says, "Hey, Dad, what's going on in this double feature podcast?"
A double feature.
Yes, there are two of them. They are twins.
Oh yeah, I know who they are. What happened to the
Oh,
podcast?
okay, okay, cool. All right, and Giz, he's asking KB, but I'm gonna say I've never heard of this movie myself. Have you seen Charlie One Eye? Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I have no clue what that is. So y'all all got one up on me just by hearing of it. Uh, Miko, or my favorite name, Kira. So they're just saying hello to each other. I'm gonna skip over a lot of the hellos. Uh, Decently or have to rewatch Magnolia. It's been so long since I've seen it. A
Do
lot of
that.
people are that way. Congratulate me on 500 subs. Very well deserved. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I just saw
That was
that post
Tiana.
today,
Thank you.
about an
Yeah,
hour ago.
thank you, Tiana.
Congrats.
And congratulations from Adrian. I appreciate it. One halfway to 1K. And Steve says, "Damn, y'all are gonna make me watch a Tom Cruise movie, aren't you?"
What's wrong with Tom Cruise?
He is not a Tom Cruise fan.
Oh no. Oh,
Mhm.
sorry.
Yeah, he's not a Tom Cruise fan. But I, I'm gonna say watch it because this is not just a Tom Cruise vehicle. I'll say that.
No.
Adrian Della reach 1K because he's a great guy. Thank you, I appreciate it. And he says we do not look at Last Samurai as serious drama. It is Fantasyland in Europe, and I think in Asia they look at it as a horror movie. Probably,
Fair enough.
probably. Fair enough. And I asked KB because he talked about Richard Roundtree on a stream. Weird movie with a fun role for him. Richard Roundtree, and I know that one.
Yeah,
And he says he got Charlie One Eye on the last Vinegar Syndrome sale.
that's probably where I heard it. I didn't even know Richard Roundtree was in it.
I didn't either. Like I said, I've never heard of it, so I really can't say one way or the other anything about it. All right. So you already touched on William H. Macy and his storyline. He is a former child star. Was it Donnie Quiz
Quiz
kid or
Kid
something like
Donnie
that?
Smith.
Yeah, the
Mm,
quiz kid something. And he's fallen on hard times since. He's got a job where right when we meet him, he's getting fired from this job, you
mm.
know, and because his name is not pulling in what they thought it would, and even though he's at least he seems to be a hardworking employee, but it's like he was only there for name value, and it's not really
Right.
providing that much value.
He's only there for his celebrity.
Right,
Mm,
right, and yeah, he's got it. He's got it pretty rough. Um, and he's pretty clearly a closeted gay man.
mm.
Um,
Oh, you think
and
he was closeted?
I think he was until that moment.
Okay, where
I
he was confessing for
Yeah,
someone.
yeah.
Okay.
I think so. You think he wasn't?
Um, what? There was no telling. I just always thought, the way he would look at that bartender, that oh yeah, he's clearly gay. So I don't think the movie was hiding that from us. The way he was
From
portraying the
us,
character.
but him hiding it from other people. I think.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't. Well, I don't think the movie really showed him trying to hide it from other people. But
Right,
he was never talking about it neither.
right. He was never talking about. And what kind of gave me that idea was when he met not the bartender, the gentleman that was sitting at the bar. Um,
Mm,
and he goes up, he sits next to him, and he starts talking to him, and the guy kind of he says something along the lines of, "Oh, you're a friend of the family," and I took that to mean, "Oh, you're also gay." Um,
mm,
but he didn't know what that meant, and he had no clue what was going on really.
yeah.
So I think maybe not, maybe closeted, maybe the wrong word, but maybe not acting on it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay,
He never acted on it. He frequents this bar. He knows who this guy is. He wants
right,
to get the oral surgery just because he has it, and he wants to be noticed by it because of it.
right.
And
Right.
then here comes this guy at the bar flashing his money all over the place, and now there's competition,
Yeah.
so he has to go over there, and now, but his whole character, the point is, he's on hard times because he's an alcoholic. He goes to
Mhm.
that bar, and he wants to confess his love for this bartender, and he orders just a diet coke. But when he sees the guy there, he orders a tequila right after.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where that moment happens because he's back to being a drunken stupor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He is. Um, do you think he ever grew up?
Wow, that's a good question. I never thought of that. I think no, I don't. I think his story is the story of a lot of child celebrities, and that's where the whole theme of child abuse comes from. Is the fact that his mother stole his parents stole his money that he made from the game show, and he was just living off of his celebrity with whatever he scrapped or whatever was left from this game show money. And
Which I got there was none.
yeah, exactly. So I don't think and then he got struck by lightning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think the brain damage kind of crippled him from actually growing up to become a full fledged adult. Even though he's
Yeah.
mature, like he is an adult, he does have a job, he goes to work, he drives a car, he drinks alcohol, smokes cigarettes, but he kind of held back.
Yeah. That's kind of where I was watching this. I was like, he's in a lot of ways, he just never really progressed past, that child star mentality, because he was still kind of clinging to I'm the quiz kid,
He brings it up every
and
chance. Yeah.
brings it up every chance he can get. And you hear the term peaked in high school. For him, it was peaked on this show.
Mm.
It's just what it feels like.
Yeah, that's
And
exactly what it is. Yep.
yeah, yeah. So that kind of struck me. Um, that struck me with him. And yeah, he gets to the point where he's professing to this guy, and just how do you feel about this confession when it happens? How do you feel about this confession?
That scene is probably my favorite scene in the movie because I understand him. I understand that he wants to confess his love, and the only reason he was able to do it because he was drunk. He's under this pressure for this competition. Uh, the loud music in the background kind of makes it tense, and yeah, I just feel like he said what he needed to say. He got it out, but he embarrassed himself at the same time because
Right,
he couldn't. He's mumbling his words. He's stuttering. He doesn't know if he's going left or right most of the time while he's confessing.
right.
So I just
Um,
thought it was a great performance, that particular scene.
William H. Macy's full of great performances. Anybody who's seen him knows that. Um,
Mhm.
I would say you said to know he doesn't know if he's going left or right while he's confessing. I would
Mhm.
argue he never knows whether he's going left or right.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're definitely right. But this particular case, he's saying what he's saying, but he wants to back out of it at the same time.
Okay,
Like
okay,
he's
I
like,
can see
"I
that.
love you. I'll talk to you." That kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I can
Yeah.
definitely see that. And later on, like you said, he decides for whatever reason he has all the keys to his old job, and he's he decides to break back in
Mhm.
or he wants to break back in to steal something. He does. Then he's trying to go and commit another crime, and John C. Riley's character intervenes, and then something else intervenes, which I'm still gonna hold off on that for a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
The other thing that intervenes. Um,
Yeah.
we get another storyline. Um, we going back to Tom Cruise's father,
Mhm.
Tom Cruise, Jason Robards. Yes, he's sick in bed, and he also has a wife who's quite a bit his junior.
Hmm.
and she was going through a crisis herself because she's got a guilty conscience herself.
Yes.
And one, what do you think of Julianne Moore, who plays the role? What do you think of her performance? Because for me,
Mm.
sh I would say her and Cruz neck and neck, my favorite performances in the movie. But
Mm.
nobody's bad. I'll say that. Everybody's just about everybody's really good.
I'm gonna say Julianne acted her ass off in this movie. Like she
Yeah.
did some heavy acting in this movie.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I'll keep it there. Yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
agree.
Okay. And her character, well, you know, for me, it's like we get a little bit of this later with Tom Cruise's character. Is that when that guilt has just overtaken you when somebody's about to go, somebody's about to pass or has just passed.
Yeah.
And I've seen it firsthand with again with family members. It's everybody's grieving, everybody's grieving, but the ones who have the most guilt, the most shame tend to be the ones who act out the most.
Hmm.
At least in my experience. I don't know if that's true in your experience.
Definitely true
Um,
in my experience.
okay. And
Yeah.
so that's what I was getting a lot of that is a lot of, I'm in this spot where I can't undo what I did. Even though
Hmm.
I'm gonna try some to do what I did, but I can't.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
I
She
go ahead.
tries hard to fix things by trying to take herself out the wheel, which can't happen now, and that drives her nuts. That you know, and again, that's the fact that she can perform that. Like if you was given a script and that's what the emotions you have to convey, difficult. I would say she had one of the most difficult performances in this. But yeah, her whole thing was that she's pretty much a trophy wife to Jason Robards' character, and she's only with him for the money, of course. And she has her affairs over and over and over again. She does her drugs, and now that he's dying, she's feeling all this guilt because now she loves him. She loves who
Mhm.
he is, and so yeah, she tried to take herself out of the will at least to make herself feel better about the situation.
Right. And she as you pointed out, she now she loves him. She's fully admitted, you're not speculating. She said it right to the guy who's handling the will, like, hey, I've
Mm,
married him for his money, but now I've grown to love him. So I'm not really worthy of whatever I'm about to get from
right.
him. And like you said, you know, it's difficult for her to convey those emotions without coming off like a cartoon character.
Exactly. I can't even imagine taking that.
Yeah, especially the scene in the pharmacy when she
Yeah.
just snaps on the guy behind the counter. He's trying to make small talk and maybe even flirt a little, but she just turns and on a dime and just goes on him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, she was doing some work in this movie for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
That was heavy.
yeah, that was heavy. Did I get to all the storylines?
Let's see. I mean, there's still the connections that need to be made. I think we
Correct.
got all the storylines. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I think we got him. Uh, let's see if what other people to say. Giz they're still talking about the other movie. He didn't like it. I'm gonna let them have that conversation about
Mm,
that. Yeah, I'll let them have their conversation about that movie. Um, yeah. All right. So they're connected in various ways. We talked a little bit about some of the connections. Julianne Moore's character is married to Jason Robards, who is
mm,
Tom Cruise's dad. And well, we got Philip Seymour Hoffman in there. This cast is just ridiculous, by the way. If
yeah.
you've
Stacked.
heard just the names that we've been throwing around, and
Yeah.
then William H Macy's. No, we did miss one storyline.
The
We did
kid,
miss one.
the
The
kid.
kid.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
William H. Macy's character reminded me of that. And it's not even I don't know that they actually make a real connection like the other stories. I think they kind of run parallel.
it is. That's exactly it. It's parallel, but the connection is the game show itself.
Correct.
The whole
Correct.
connection of the whole movie is the game show.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
And this kid, he's a genius kid. He's one of those kids who spends his time doing research, his free time, spare time doing research on stuff.
yeah.
And the way the game's set up, you get three kids against three adults, and you answer trivia questions, and he answers all the questions for the kids,
Mm,
and he reaches a point where it's really something, we first meet him with his dad, and his dad is always rushing him along. Like, hurry up and get to school in the school in the morning. I got an audition because dad wants to be a star too. I got an audition, so I won't be able to pick you up until such and such time. And then we
right.
got to get to the studio, and he's dragging this kid all over the place and pretty much treating him like a meal ticket. And when he gets to the show, he's got all these handlers, people who work on the show, and they're doing the same thing. And he does it's something simple. He's like, "Hey, we got a break. We got a minute. I gotta go to the bathroom."
Hmm.
And man, these people just never just it never occurs to them that, hey, this is a kid. I need to let the kid go to the bathroom.
Right.
And
Again, the abuse theme in this movie, because the way he just lifts him up and then puts him back down in disappointment, it's like, come on, this is a kid. It's like you're not worried
Mhm,
about him at all. You're just worried about this money. But the intense thing about this scene, particularly, this is talking about being parallel. This is in the same room now. This guy is passing out, the host of the show, while and this kid is having a crisis.
right,
He's giving a show altogether. He's making a decision. Saying despite the fact that his dad might be upset. You know,
right.
yeah, that's just another great scene in the movie.
Oh, yeah, it was a pretty tense scene, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's a little bit different, from some of the other scenes because it's tense without a character flying off the handle and screaming and yelling.
Yeah.
So it's a different kind of tensity, and I really, really appreciated that. Juxtapose that with what we talked about with Julianne Moore, or uh, at another part of the movie, the Tom Cruise interview, which is another pivotal scene.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts off, all in his element, and then he loses his shit. And so this scene was a little bit different from that. But you brought up something that helps clear up some things for me. Though the game show is actually the binding piece for the entire movie,
Right.
and I appreciate you bringing that up because that was one of the reasons why I watched it twice. I was like, there's some connection is missing here. I get all
Mm-hmm.
these connections coming together. Something is missing here, so that helps me kind of piece it together a little bit better. So I really really appreciate that. All
Right.
right. So even though we spoiled a lot of things that happened, I'm gonna put the spoiler alert up now for this
The real
because
spoiler. Yeah.
the real spoiler. So it is there, and I'm gonna put it both there, so you got it. So if you watching and you haven't seen Magnolia and you don't want to spoil what this big thing that happens, just mute it. Wait till you see all the spoiler stuff go away and come back. All right. So as William H. Macy is, he's climbing the ladder trying to break in somewhere. John C. Riley's driving by and sees him. Tom Cruise is with his dad and he's about to pass away, and all the other characters and their storylines are getting near an end.
Mm.
It suddenly starts raining frogs,
Yes.
billions of frogs just falling out of the sky.
Yes. Now, can I say
And
something that's funny about that scene?
go for it.
After all is said and done, everyone is kind of acting like this is normal,
Yeah.
you know. And I think that's the point of the movie,
Okay. Okay.
because we was they were preparing us at the beginning of the movie with those three little stories. This is something that
Um,
happens, you know,
right.
and for some reason they were all behaving like, well, there's millions of frogs on the floor. Let me just drive on home. It's daytime now, you know. But let's get into the details of why that happened. Do you have any
Um,
input on that?
I really don't. Um, I really don't. And this is the other reason why I watched it twice.
Hmm.
Because the first time I watched it, and I went in. I like to go into movies cold, or as cold as possible. So I knew nothing about. I knew there were a lot of connecting stories. That's pretty much all I knew, and I knew Tom Cruise was in.
Right.
So when these frogs start falling out of the sky, I was like, hmm, um, okay, let's see where this goes. And then things go haywire, but we don't get an explanation, which is fine. And we get one person who says, I think it was William H. Macy, or it might have been John C. Riley, says, "Why are frogs falling out of the sky?" But that was it. It wasn't like it wasn't
Oh, it
like
was
a sign of the apocalypse, like I would think.
exactly. No, that was Philip Seymour Hoffman just acknowledging, oh, there's frogs falling
Thank you.
from the sky.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you. Correct, correct. Um, and he has a funny scene also, by the way, when he's trying to track down Tom Cruise's character, and he has to call to get the stuff delivered,
Oh
and
yeah,
he starts off ordering food, and then he's ordering all these girly magazines, and
and
at
they
the
ask
end,
him,
they
they
ask
ask,
him,
you still want the
"Oh,
food though, right?
that was pretty funny." But yeah, so I really don't have anything for why these frogs just start falling out of the sky. Now you gave me a hint. At least I think you gave me a hint when you said, the wraparound. I guess not really a wraparound, but the bookends here. Stuff just happens sometimes. So
um,
what? Go ahead.
that's just one thing. You would argue that it's biblical because in the Bible, God said frogs will fall from the sky
Mhm.
when you know if something doesn't happen or happens, whatever. Um, so I think it was biblical above all, but I still don't know what it means with the movie. Um,
That was gonna be
but
my next question, but go ahead.
but as far as the movie goes, I think the point of the beginning was that it was preparing us for this happening.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I can see
I
that.
could be wrong
So
on that.
I think it's one of those things is however you interpret it is going to be right.
Yeah, it's up for interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a movie like I'm a person, I like to figure it out by myself. If I can't, I'm not above going out and seeing what other people think or see what their viewpoint is on it.
Hmm.
I remember when I saw uh after I saw Us. I did a lot of. I thought for a couple days on it. I came up with my own ideas on it, and then I went to the internet and see what everybody else was saying.
Right.
So with Magnolia, it was the same, but I hadn't gotten to the point where I went to the internet yet. So
Hmm.
it was like, okay, I'm looking at it. I'm trying to come up, and I said, you know what? I'm going to be talking to somebody who loves this movie. So let me talk to that person.
Right.
So you kind of let me in on, oh, well, you know what? Whatever interpretation you come up with is
Probably going to
pretty
make
much
some sort
what
of
is,
sense.
whatever you take out of whatever you get out of it is what it's going to be.
Right.
Um,
With that being said, are you still clear about how you feel about it, or
um, I'll get to that, and I'll get to that in a second because I'm going to do overall final thoughts in a minute.
okay?
Um, but yeah, that was a sticking point with me. I was like, just sitting there like, what do I think it is? And it wasn't something that was accessible to me as something in other movies, even other movies that people find weird. Like for instance, Sorry to Bother You. Have you seen Sorry to Bother You?
Yes.
So that movie, something happens that people would consider strange, weird, whatever. But
Mm,
I picked up on it pretty quick, and I was like,
right.
okay,
Because it was leading to that point. We knew it
right,
was
'cause
leading to
to
something.
that point.
Yeah.
Here was just like out of seemingly out of left field. So
Hmm.
I wasn't real sure on on how to feel about that.
Right.
Um, and Mika says she was muting now. So thank you, Mika, for doing that. Um, but yeah, I wasn't 100% sure, but that is why that's one of the reasons why I watched it twice.
Right.
All right. So before I do let you know how I feel overall, is anything else about the movie that you wanted to speak on?
Well, the last thing was that scene where everyone's singing "Wise Up."
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. What did you think of that?
At first, I thought it was heavy-handed.
Hmm.
That was my first thought. And then watching it again, I still think it was heavy-handed, but I'm a little more lenient on it. It was like, okay, I get it. And this is for me at least like every character while they're singing the song, they're really engaging in an inner monologue or really a conversation with themselves about their own life.
Hmm.
So that's kind of how I took it. How about you?
I just thought it was a cool scene. It was
So I
heavy
thought it
handed.
was cool.
It still is heavy handed, but it was just a
Yeah.
cool scene. I just like watching that part.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. All right. I'm gonna take the spoiler alerts down.
All right.
Where's the other one? There it goes. All right. So for Magnolia, all right. My overall thoughts on Magnolia. So one of the reasons I watched it again was because after I watched it the first time, I didn't know how I felt, and I'm still trying to piece things together. So I said the second time, and honestly, still didn't know exactly how I felt after watching it the second time, which is just this morning, the second time. So this conversation helps me. I knew I didn't. I knew that I appreciated the movie. I just
Hmm.
didn't know, wasn't sure to what degree I'd appreciate it, if that makes sense.
Right.
So going through this conversation helps me out a lot. And I can say, oh, another reason I watched it again was because I had to also get rid of uh, the connections that I was making with Crash, which I hate. So
Yeah. Fair. Fair.
this Crash borrows this kind of storytelling. He does kind of the same thing,
Right.
but it's not good. Um, But yeah, so talking to you about it and getting some input from you on it, it does help me, does elevate the movie for me a bit, and it is one that I can see watching a few more times to figure out, to figure out a little more, or see how it hits me a little differently, or focus in on another storyline a little more than I did this time, because there's just so much here.
Mm,
There's just a lot here. So I will say, yep, I definitely enjoyed this movie,
good.
and definitely look forward to watching it again. Anybody out there, just bring your thinking cap to the movie. This is not one of the shut your brain off movies. This is not the Fast and the Furious. So you got to
No.
think a little bit.
You got to
Um,
pay attention to
got to
catch
pay
the.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to pay attention. And not like all these Netflix movies where they spoon feed you everything.
Oh yeah.
Uh, But yeah, so I really did enjoy it, and I went back to watching it, and that's in contrast to something like Mulholland Drive, which
Mm,
I've seen once. I don't fully get it, but I didn't enjoy watching it,
right. I
so
haven't seen it.
I've never went back to this David Lynch, and You
Oh,
know,
Mulholland
it,
Drive. I'm thinking of Mulholland Falls.
no,
Mulholland Drive.
Mulholland
Oh
Drive.
yeah, you didn't like Mulholland Drive?
I didn't enjoy watching it.
I
It
get what
was
you're
I
saying.
don't know. So I haven't gone back to it yet. I keep telling myself I am, but in this case, it was like a movie. I compare it to that because I didn't fully get it, and
Mm,
I don't know if this is a movie that you'll ever fully get,
no, you're not.
but I enjoyed the journey more than I did with Mulholland Drive. If that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Well, good.
So go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, no, I just said good, good. Glad you liked it.
Okay. KB, Trash is Trash, not the Cronenberg one. I've seen the Cronenberg one. I still need to see that one.
Cronenworth
I've
one
heard a lot
is
about it.
that's a rough one.
I've heard.
Yeah.
But the Oscar winning one was yeah, it was trash. I
No,
can't with
not
that
good.
movie. Um, Mulholland Drive is a trip. Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Absolutely. It is absolutely a trip. I'm gonna go back to it just to see because it's been a lot of years now since I've seen it. So uh, I'm a different viewer, different person than I was that back
Here's my
then.
advice to you.
Go ahead.
Watch it on a Sunday morning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Sunday morning movie. Is
Okay.
you're fresh, what I'm saying, you're awake and you can, you probably enjoy it more that way. It's not a night movie. Even though
Yeah,
that
that
it's
that makes sense.
even though a lot of people like to watch it as a midnight movie, I think
You've
it's
seen
Sunday
it a few
morning movie.
times. That works.
Yeah.
That would work better. Like Mika says, this sounds like one you'll have to watch more than once. Yeah, definitely. You'll
Hmm.
if you want to get the full experience of it, you're gonna have to watch it more than once. Um, and it's one of those, like I said, I don't know that you ever fully get everything because there's so much here.
Hmm.
But you can get something different out of it every time,
True.
and that's just from my two viewings. So I imagine, my next viewing, I'll get even a little bit different. All right.
The whole plot will probably be different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I I I, I could see that easy. All right. So we're gonna move to something a little more straightforward.
Hmm.
We're gonna
Hmm.
we're gonna get to the movie that I had you watch, and
Right.
that movie bears shares a name with a horror movie that came out a few years ago and has completely overshadowed this movie. And that's a movie, but I still don't think that's fair because I think this is a great movie. And this is Talk to Me, starring Don Cheadle as Petey Green. There we go. Petey Green, radio DJ in Washington, D.C. Chiwetel Ejiofor is winds up being a best friend and manager. Uh, Petey is in prison when we meet him. Chiwetel Ejiofor's character um, he works for the radio station, but he's at the prison visiting his brother, played by Mike Epps. And Mike Epps' character has been singing the praises of Petey Green. He's been telling him how great a DJ he is, and you should give him a chance when he gets out at your station. And his brother's kind of brushing him off. And we get the idea that the brother Chiwetel Ejiofor's character is a lot more bougie than Mike Epps' character. So he's really not trying to hire a convict to work at his radio station, especially to be the DJ. And Dewey is his name. I apologize. Dewey
Hmm.
is the character's name. And he meets Petey briefly and kind of gives him the cold shoulder. But he does tell him, when you get out, look me up, just kind of being nice. Petey pulls a stunt in prison, takes him out. And of course, he shows up at the radio station saying, "Hey, you need a DJ? I'm your man." And they go through a little rigmarole back and forth, and game of pool is involved, game of nine ball, and bada boom, bada bing. Petey Green is a DJ against Dewey's boss's wishes, and it works out, and the movie goes from there. And this is based on a true story. By the way, Petey's girlfriend, played Raji B. Henson in one of the most Taraji P. Henson roles ever.
Yeah.
And so my first question for you is, you said you hadn't seen this one.
Mhm.
Is this one that you just kind of just didn't get a chance to see, or just wasn't interested, or how did that go?
Um, just missed it because I had the DVD for ages when it was a new release, and put it on the shelf. Never took it back out. Yeah,
Okay. All right. So, did you know it was based on a true story at all?
yeah, I did. I didn't know who Petey Green was, but when like the trailers were coming out, I think they were telling me that it was based on a true story.
Okay.
Yeah.
We talked about acting a bit with Magnolia because all the performances there were magnificent, and I'm going to start there. What did you think of the performances?
Um, Don Cheadle, charismatic. One of my favorite performances from him. Uh, Chiwetel Ejiofor ripped this movie apart. He's my
Yes.
favorite. He's my favorite performance in this movie. You're 100% correct on Taraji P Henson. Even though I love Taraji P Henson, so
Yes, I
that's
love her
that,
too.
that's not a diss on her.
No.
Did her thing in this movie too. I wanted more Mike Epps.
Hmm.
Um, I could have took more Martin Sheen too. He was quite good in the movie as well. But yeah, John Cheadle, I think this is one of his more charismatic roles, and I enjoyed him in it.
Yeah. Yeah. For Don Cheadle, definitely. And we'll talk more a little bit later about him in roles in particular, but just keep the focus on this movie for for
All
the
right.
time being. Um, so I'm not necessarily going to skip over the prison part because I mean it's important in the movie, but like skip over as far as us talking about it. Um,
Mhm.
so I really want to kind of the start with him showing up to the radio station. What did you think of Petey Green at that point?
Um, I think that was more of a caricature, more than like a real person in that particular
Hmm.
scene. Him and Taraji. It was in the movie to be funny. It was, slapstickish. And, I'm not mad at it, but I don't think that's something a real person, not even Petey Green, would do. But
Okay.
I don't know Petey Green.
Right, right. So it's one of those things where I don't know if that really happened, that scene, but I took it
Exactly.
as a setup to how much he believes in himself and his ability as a DJ.
Yeah.
I took it as a setup for that, not
Yeah, that's
necessarily.
why I wasn't upset with it. It was like, I see what they're doing.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And then the game, the pool game, I think is where Chiwetel Ejiofor really comes to life in this movie for me.
Mhm.
The first one anyway, the first time when they meet in the bar,
That
and
monologue was hitting.
yeah, yeah. We can go ahead and talk about that if you want to. Just
Oh, no. I mean, basically, you know, he sets up this meeting with him at a pool hall. Um, and he's pretty much just, ripping them apart in this game. He does. Petey doesn't land anything in. Meanwhile, he's giving this monologue about where he's from, is what he knows. What I'm saying, and he's reading Petey, like he knows people like Petey because that's where he's from. But I guess like he's kind of like the Carlton to his Fresh Prince. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where that monologue was going. Because he's supposed to be like the bougie character, but he can turn it on and off, as we see later when he becomes a DJ.
yeah, so that's okay. So that's interesting you brought up Carlton and the Fresh Prince, because
Mhm.
you see a lot of that dynamic here, but something else you said was really important
Mhm.
is he can turn it on and off. He's definitely code switching a lot.
Yes,
Um, so in that instance, he's not quite Carlton because Carlton is just
he's
Carlton.
Carlton. Yeah, yeah. But when
He's just
but when it's on, that's what he is.
right,
Because he
right,
says it's like my whole personality, the way I dress. That's Johnny Carson.
right,
You know.
right. Yeah, I took everything from Johnny Carson
Mhm.
and Petey's like, yeah, I can see that. Um, but
Yeah.
by the end of it, he tells Petey, he's like, look, don't ever underestimate me again. You just don't know. And
Yes.
Yeah, and that was a it was a great monologue,
Mm-hmm.
between or from him rather to Petey,
Mm-hmm.
and Petey shows back up at the radio station, and they kind of sneak him on the air, and I thought that was pretty funny, how
Yeah.
they finagled that whole situation.
Mm.
Um, Short end of the stick was the other DJ that got fired.
Yeah.
Uh,
The Von D. Curtis Hall character.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. His
yeah,
facial expressions were hilarious.
they were. Um, the I know because of the movie, because the movie's on this character. I know going in that he's going to be a good DJ.
Mm.
So did that first time on air for him go about like you thought, or something different?
I thought that he was going to go in uh, full throttle, but was. I think one of the things I liked about that scene was the fact that he was scared.
Hmm.
He paused. He couldn't do it. He didn't know how to do it. He didn't know who he was talking to. And
Right.
yeah, it went totally different than I thought it would.
Yeah, I think that's important that he didn't know who he was talking to when he was in prison. He knew exactly who he was talking to.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew exactly who his audience was. But then he finally gets it together. He pulls it together, and he winds up explaining how Berry Gordy, the Motown mogul, the all time great, is actually a pimp. Um,
Yeah.
I, so in that moment, are you with Petey or you with Martin Sheen's?
I'm with Petey. I'm with Petey. I'm with Petey. I was all for that. I wanted more of that.
Yeah,
Call him
and
out.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean that's really the crux of the movie is he's gonna call people out whether you like it or not. And I thought in that moment, going back to Chiwetel Ejiofor, his facial expression said it all. He was like in
Yeah.
complete shock. His mouth drops open, and he was like, "What the hell have I got myself into
Yeah.
with
His
this
job's
guy?"
on the line.
Exactly, exactly. And do you buy? So do you buy their friendship as it grows throughout the movie?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how friendships start a lot of times. I mean, a lot of my friendships started with argument.
Mhm.
So I felt like it was realistic. I think way it's portrayed, it happens a little too quick.
Okay,
You know, uh, Montagey no less. So, but I do believe their friendship. Yes.
okay, okay. And as far as quickness goes, I think that's one of those things like, hey, we only got a certain amount of time to get this movie, get through this movie. So let's let's,
Well,
let's
let me ask you a question.
go for it.
Do you think this movie should have been an hour longer?
I think it could have been an hour longer. I don't know that it should have been.
I think
I,
it
w- I
should.
was I would fall somewhere short of an hour. 20, 30 minutes.
Okay, because I think there was a lot of the movie just seemed to be missing.
Hmm.
Especially like we'll get there, but especially towards the half of it.
Okay. Okay.
And I was like,
Well,
and I was enjoying it so much. I was like, I could watch another hour of this. To tell you
yeah.
the truth.
It's hard to boil somebody's life down to was it hour 45 or so roughly,
Yeah.
or close to 2 hours. I'm not looking at it right now, but
It, and that also costs money. So to make a
right,
movie, yeah.
right. So I get what you're saying, um, but I think for that to happen, there would have to be more to Petey's character.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
'Cause as good as Don Cheadle is, I will say that for a lot of the movie, he's kind of a one note character.
Hmm. Yeah,
Now, there's other facets to him, but I think it's other people who explain it for us.
yeah.
Like for instance, Taraji Henson starts explaining it, and even Chiwetel Ejiofor's Dewey, he has to explain it to Martin Sheen,
Mm,
and Taraji has to explain it to him sometimes. and even to Petey himself, she has to explain it sometimes.
Right.
So I think that we would need more from him
Right.
to
Yeah.
stretch it that far.
No, I agree. I get your point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the movie would have turned into the She Would Tell Ejiofor movie. It would have turned into his
Yes.
movie. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yes. Because I mean, it's a full blown bromance kind of movie.
Mm,
Um, but she would tell Ejiofor's character Dewey is has more depth,
it does. Agreed.
and Don Cheadle he's going hard, you know, in as far as the acting goes. Like you said, a lot of charisma, but not a lot beneath the surface, and that's not his fault. That's the writing of the movie. So I
I
think
mean,
he got to be.
he does it well, but yeah, it's where it is. Yeah.
Mhm.
True.
Yeah, it's all on the surface, you know, with Petey. Anything beneath the surface, he gives it to you when he needs to, as far as acting without saying anything, as far as his facial expressions, because they're subtle enough where you can understand why Dewey doesn't pick up on them,
Mm,
but we do, and we also understand that Taraji's character also does because she knows him better than anybody.
right.
Um, So we get that, and he gives us that. It's just not much more there for us to grab onto. As far what did you think of their relationship though, Taraji P Henson and
Um,
Petey, and I'm gonna get her name at some point.
Taraji.
Uh, yep, it was Vernell. There we go.
Okay. Oh, her the character name. Okay.
Yeah.
Their relationship was cartoon.
Hmm.
It was a
Hmm.
cartoon. Well, her character was a cartoon,
Oh
but
yeah.
again, I didn't mind it so much because that was the tone that we was given from the get go.
Okay.
So I did. Me going in not knowing who Petey Green was, and this is how you're portraying the character. You know, I didn't mind it so much, but it was definitely a cartoonish relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say that for me anyway, and you can tell me if you agree or disagree. Uh, when she needed to rein it in, she being Taraji P. Henson, when she needed to rein it in, I think she did a pretty good job of that. Um,
Mm,
Later in the movie, when it comes to, trying to protect Edie from the things that were going on.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, you bring up a good point because the tone shifts in the second half of the movie. So her
uh,
character is going to have to do that. And Taraji is already an amazing actress, so she can do that. And
yes.
again, it's not in the way the movie goes, the shift change is caused by real life event. So it's kind of a natural progression to that. So it doesn't feel like it just snapped and then, all of a sudden a totally different movie. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go back to Dewey and Petey for a second because I just thought of something. So
Mhm.
we talked about their relationship and their friendship growing. Um, do you think there was an element of abuse to their relationship as
Dewey and
far
Petey.
as not Petey and Vanell, Dewey and Petey, as far as Dewey, maybe not abuse, maybe not be the right word, but maybe exploitation
Like they
of
were
Petey's
using each
talent.
other or
You well, in particular, Dewey using Petey as the movie progressed.
um I mean naturally yes, but I just think that's the way it had to be in order for it to work. Not
Okay.
their relationship, but just the partnership.
Right. Right. Right.
I
Right.
just think that's a realistic thing to happen. But no, abusive, no. I do think they used each other though.
Okay. Yeah, and as I was saying, it was like, yeah, abusive might be the wrong word for that. A little too strong. But
There's a
they did.
scene in the movie where they talked about it like I need you for this and you need me for the other thing.
Right.
You
They
know?
they mentioned that a couple times.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we get that PD by the end of the movie, or not the end, but the late second, early third act, Petey's kind of acting out of obligation a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's what the character becomes.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So, really quickly, Mika hasn't seen this one, but it's been on my watch list. Gotta give it a watch, Mika. I would say
check it
give
out.
it a watch. All right. So you mentioned the that's not the right one there. There we go. So you mentioned that the tone shifts because of a real life event. How do you think they handle that?
I like the way they handled it. I liked because you didn't know that it was coming, but you knew. Well, I'll tell you what. I did know this was a true story, and I did know that there was going to be a dramatic element, especially the time that it took place. So I knew there was going to be a big event that happens.
Mm,
Um, the scene where Martin Sheen is, getting that information and passing it on. That I thought that was a powerful scene. I mean, like it was typical the way somebody would handle that scene, but it works. It totally works. And from that point on, you see, gradually how things had to progress because of this. I mean, Martin Luther King just got assassinated.
right,
The 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 country is now a different country. You know,
right,
so yeah, I thought it was a natural progression.
right. Yeah, it was one of those things where the tonal shift didn't strike me. It wasn't jarring. It was like, okay, this thing just happened, and now we all have to kind of spring into action, or we're going to do something now. And in this case, we wound up with the benefit concert with or the concert with James Brown and him introducing and
Hmm.
all that kind of thing. And yeah, I just reminded myself when I put this on the screens. Cassie Lemons directed. Seem I wish we had more Cassie Lemons movies. She needs to make more.
Yeah,
Um,
she only made about what, three, four?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's known for being in Candyman and and the movie she's
yeah.
directed, which
Well, I
is
mean, each bio is a magnum opus.
it is,
Yeah,
and more people need to see it.
yes. It's
That's
in the
all I'm gonna say to
Criterion.
that.
Go get it.
Yes, I've got it back here somewhere, so more people need to see it. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, I thought that tonal shift was handled pretty well. So I was happy for that. And it's one of those things where, I've seen this movie a couple times, but this came out in 2007, and I think
Mhm.
I saw them the couple times that I saw it might have been in 2007 or 2008. So it's been a while since I watched it, and sometimes you're not like quite sure.
Right.
Is this gonna hold up? Is this gonna? And I think that part of it did hold up for me.
Hmm.
Um, so the tones, the shift worked really well for me, and that carried us into the last part of the movie where we get Chiwetel Ejiofor's character Dewey. We get him becoming a DJ in his own right. I thought that was pretty good. Along the way, though, we hadn't touched on with some of these side characters. We talked about Vondi Curtis Hall. We talked a little bit about Martin Sheen. Did not talk about Cedric the
That's the
Entertainer's character.
entertainer. Yeah.
Go ahead, give me your thoughts on him and his
Um,
character.
I could have used more of them. I mean, the scenes that he was in, he was good. Lead the scene where Taraji gets her payback. Blame
Yes,
it on the voice. Blame it on the voice.
blame
I
it on the
love it.
voice.
Yeah, he was good. But yeah, I needed more of him. That's why I felt like this movie should have been longer. But that was just probably just me having a good time. It
Yeah,
probably wouldn't have
yeah,
worked.
and y with character like that, you start to take the focus off the lead,
Exactly.
uh, the more you do that. I will say for me, I got a real up and down relationship with Cedric the Entertainer's performance and work.
Yeah.
'Cause I
You mean like in movies or stand up?
yeah. No, I like his stand-up, but
Hmm.
in movies, I'm kinda iffy on him. Movies and TV, and
Well,
his
he's kind of playing the same characters.
he does, but it's weird because for him, I hear the code switching in his acting, and that's the part that bothers me,
Right,
right?
right, right.
It's not a
Especially in movies
natural. Yeah,
like in Be Cool. Like you can hear him code switching. Yeah.
Right. Right. I can hear his voice. I mean, his literal voice change. And I know that a lot of us code switch. I'm guilty myself.
Hmm.
You know, I don't talk to people in my family. I don't talk to people that I grew up with the same way I go and talk to my boss. I don't talk to them the same way I might talk to someone, random out in the street.
Right.
I get it. But with him, it's like, okay, you're a big enough personality. I know what you sound like.
Hmm.
So if I'm just and use an example of like if I'm watching Kings of Comedy, that's your natural voice,
Right.
right? I hear you all the time, and then I see you in this movie with a lot of white people in it, and all of a sudden you're going, "Hey, blah, blah." It's like, okay, who right now? You're
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that
You're
that's
being
and
condescending.
yeah, it
Yeah.
just irks me, and I get it a lot now because my wife watches his the show that he's been on, the Neighborhood. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
I actually like that show.
Yeah, and she watches it a lot. She loves the show,
Mhm.
and every time I hear him speaking, it's like that's not such a good time. Not that it's a bad show. It's just
Well, maybe that's his acting. His acting is the code switch.
true. But you know what though? I've heard this. I can't remember who I heard say it, but if I can see you acting, you're not doing a good job.
Yeah, who did say that? I heard that ttoo.
Yeah, I
I
can't
forgot who
remember who
said it.
said it. So it should be more natural. And that I mean, I get it. You get some actors who wind up seem like they're playing themselves a lot.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's because they're just good at falling into the character and not letting you see them trying to be the character.
Right.
And I think he could use more of that. But here I thought he was fine. He was cool.
Yeah.
Um the disappointment on his face when he came in to get the fan letters and he only got a couple and Petey had this whole big stack. That was
And
pretty
she
cool.
takes one more away from him.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let me see if anybody else is out here. We're not there. We this time. Which is cool.
Mm.
So, okay. So we get these little situations. One of the things that struck me about watching it this time, though, and you can tell if it hit you this way or not, is it was a lot more like skits almost
Okay.
than a full blown like I mean it told a story. It was a narrative and it had we had the like we mentioned the bromance, we got the romance with Taraji P Henson's character, and
Mm.
we got all those things there. But it was almost like sketch comedy. It's like, okay, here's this setup, go, and then we kind of move to another scene. It's like, okay, here's the setup, go. So
Hmm.
I don't know, how did you feel about
Um, I think it was advertised that way when it came out.
that? Okay.
It was advertised as almost like a parody of the story.
Hmm.
Because naturally, when the movie first came out, I was thinking about the Ladies' Man, which is based on a
Yeah.
sketch comedy. So
Yeah, I wasn't, but good, good. I like it.
yeah. So yeah, again, that first half, why I was having such a good time is because it was a sketch comedy. Here's the scene where he cheats on his girlfriend. This is the scene where he, you know, uh, does a good job on the radio. This is the beginning where uh, we're meeting him in jail and everyone loves him and everyone's laughing at him. It's just scene after scene after scene where we're just enjoying this character like a reoccurring sketch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, usually for me, I shouldn't say usually, but often that's not a good thing. But I think it works in this case, and I
Hmm.
think you agree that it works in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So
mainly because it told the story. It made sense and, it was competent and Don Cheadle was good.
yeah, Don Cheadle was great,
Mhm.
and I'm kind of I've at least for me, I'm kind of underselling him a bit. I think, but yeah, you mentioned the word charismatic. He was definitely that. Um, he gave us everything he could out of this character, and Sometimes it was a facial expression, sometimes it was just what he was saying or
Mm.
how he said it. One of my favorites was a real simple one after he said that he was telling his radio audience that they said that he had went to the White House and stole some silverware, and
Yeah.
and and the face he makes as he's stirring the tea with the silverware
Hmm.
that may have come from the White House. That was pretty good.
We don't know. Yeah,
We
no,
don't
that was
know.
good.
That was really good. That was really good. Um, another thing that I thought was interesting about this movie was just the look of it. They it didn't go full blown like Black Dynamite as far as trying to make
Mm.
Black Dynamite. If you've seen that,
Mm.
they mimic black exploitation era in 70s filmmaking. They don't quite do that here, but
Mm.
they trying to give it a retro feel. And I'm not talking about just the costumes and the clothing, just the look of the film, the kind of the tint that's on everything, and the colors that are used as far as the backgrounds goes. I don't
Mm.
know if you picked up on that at all.
Yeah, movies like this, if it didn't go Black Dynamite, it definitely went Undercover Brother because it
Hmm.
had the tint you're referring to is kind of like that earth tony,
Right,
beiges. I get what you're saying. Black Dynamite did that, but they also kind of gave it that grindhouse look.
right,
So no,
right.
it didn't go full that.
Right. Didn't go full that way, but I thought it was interesting that that this movie did give us that, so they didn't try to make everything too glossy.
Mm.
So if you were watching, you really felt like you were watching something that was filmed a while ago and took place during that period. So I really did appreciate that. And we brought up Cassie Lemon's. How do you think she did as far as a director goes in this particular instance?
It was a competently made film. It's not her best. I mean, like I said, East Bayou was magnum opus. This pales in comparison to that, but it's competent.
Yeah.
I mean, like anybody could have done this movie. It's not like there was a particular style of hers that made this what it was. But yeah, it was fine.
Okay. Okay. Um, anything else that you want to talk about this movie that I didn't bring up or we didn't bring up?
Um, that scene when it goes from him with that TV appearance and then going straight to 1982 disturbed me.
Okay. Why is that?
Um, because it's not like we got a montage or anything like that. I mean, we do know that he became one of the top DJs, but this is just me saying I wanted more of this movie.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah. But that was a big time jump right there. It was kind of like, okay, well, let's jump to this so we can get to this.
Yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying right there. Um, yeah, we could have got more of that, and I think yeah, we they kind of rushed us along a bit just to get back to PD getting back into the picture
Mm,
a bit, and if we're looking for places to extend the movie, that's one place, and then seeing what exactly PD has been up to during this time.
right. I personally didn't look up Petey. Um, I do know that that scene where they're playing pool and him doing the coughing was supposed to signify something,
Right,
but it didn't alarm me enough to say that, oh, this guy's dying or he's sick
right,
or and then all of a sudden he's dead. you know.
right,
So
right.
yeah, I was a little kind of they it was rushed. I feel
Yeah, yeah. So I can agree with that. So yeah, if we're looking for places to expand the movie, that would
it was the
definitely
second
be
half, right?
the second half of the movie. The first half I think flowed pretty nicely.
Mm.
All right. So I'm gonna turn it over to you just for your overall thoughts and final thoughts on Talk to Me.
Um, This movie was all smiles from the get go. Whenever I see Mike Epps' face, I'm already kind of just excited for a movie that he's in. But yeah, it was just a good time in the first half. I enjoyed the second half. Uh, I enjoyed the costumes. The costumes was probably one of my favorite things. Uh, the scenes where love that scene where after the assassination happened, DC is just on fire. That was really well done. The performances, even the smaller ones from Martin Sheen and Cedric the Entertainer, were great. Um, yeah, it was good enough for me to actually want to look him up. You know, if there's any more information of him out there. I do feel the second half could have been filled in a little bit, but I understand uh, budget and I understand like sometimes the studio gets involved with stuff like that. But I really enjoyed this movie, and I'm gonna
Okay.
watch this a bunch more times. And I am so shocked that I had this for so long and I never watched it until now. You know, yeah, this is definitely going to be in rotation now.
Just need a little nudge. That's all.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. So I do want to get back to Don Cheadle's roles for a minute, not this particular role.
Hmm.
And I want to get your perspective on this because I'm a big superhero movie fan. I'm a big Marvel fan. I like the MCU,
Hmm.
but I think he's one of the actors that's kind of been hamstrung by being in the MCU. Any thoughts on
I never thought about that, and I think
that?
you're right.
Yeah, he's not taking other roles because he's
I
roadie.
think you're right. Wow. Yeah, I never thought about that. But the one that's really taking the roles is Hemsworth. Not him. Is it Hemsworth? No, Evans.
He's
He's
Evans.
really the only one that I'm seeing like taking other roles. You know, so
Right.
I can say the same thing for a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson is in Jurassic World now, but I mean that's but she's usually in indies. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, I think you're right. I never thought about that because I can't
Yeah.
remember the last Don Cheadle movie I've seen since Endgame. Well, that's
Yeah.
not a Don Cheadle movie, but the last thing I saw him in.
Last thing you saw him in, yeah.
Yeah.
And you gotta remember this is an Academy Award nominated actor
Hmm.
prior to being in the MCU.
Right.
So yeah, not for this role, but I think it was Hotel Rwanda.
Hotel Rwanda, but that's the thing. This is a man who played that role.
Hmm.
And you know managed to get bigger roles like being in the MCU, but somehow, do you think it's being offered to him, or is he
That's
just
the
not taking
thing. I don't know. 'Cause I don't know, eh, not being an actor and definitely not being an actor of that stature, I don't I don't know what the time commitment really is to be in the MCU.
it? Right.
So it's one of those things where is he just not being offered or does he just not have time to take them? And
I don't think that there's a lot of time being taken to do those movies. Not with
okay,
not screen time, no.
okay, okay.
Maybe
'Cause
Robert Downey Jr., but Robert Downey Jr. took a lot of screen time, but still was an Oppenheimer. So
right.
I'm thinking that he's not being getting the offers.
I tend to fall on that side. But I will say with Robert Downey Jr., he was already out of the MCU technically by then.
Hmm.
By the time he got to Oppenheimer, and
True.
during the time when he was Iron Man, I don't remember seeing him in anything else either. Um, I think right at the beginning he was in a movie with Jamie Foxx, The Soloist,
Right.
and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. All that was like right before Iron
Right
Man or
before.
right
Yeah.
after Iron Man. And then the next thing I saw him in was after he was done with Iron Man when he was Doolittle.
Which one? Oh, I forgot
Doolittle.
about Doolittle. Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't remember anything else non-MCU in between there. So, there might have been, but I just don't remember.
Mm. Yeah, it
and
wasn't
kind of
much.
seeing, yeah, and Scarlett Johansson did show up in a lot of indies. And
Hmm.
now Evans is showing up in a lot of stuff. You said, like
Hmm.
you said, um, but a lot of these other actors, it's like, once you're in the MCU, you're just in the MCU.
Yeah. Now,
Um,
now that I'm thinking about it, you know, yeah, you're absolutely right because Paul Rudd's been on a lot of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, it's really Don Cheadle, and I never thought about it.
yeah. Haven't seen Paul Rudd in much. Haven't even seen Samuel L. Jackson in much other than
Oh,
Marvel movies lately.
yeah, he's done a ton of stuff after or and during the MCU. Paul Rudd did the Ghostbusters movie. He was just in that
Yeah, he was in the
A24
Ghostbusters movie.
movie. He's done some things. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
mainly Don Cheadle.
yeah, yeah, and Rhodey hasn't been in a movie since Endgame. I don't think
Which one?
Endgame, right? Was that the last one that he was in? Last
Which
MCU movie
actor?
he was in? Don Cheadle. Or no,
Yeah.
did he
Oh,
pop?
he might have done something else. The last thing I've known him to do was in game.
Trying to remember if he popped up in um no, he didn't pop up in Brave New World. Or did he? I can't remember. I gotta
I
watch
don't
it
know.
again. But
Don't
either
know.
way, not doing other stuff. It's just
Yeah.
kind of my and
Yeah.
I wish he would.
I'm gonna look it up now because now I'm like, what has he done?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I wish he would do more stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, we do have a couple more comments. We'll definitely plan to check this one out. Love the cast. Yeah, we got a pretty
Yeah. It
good
was
cast.
good.
Hotel Rwanda was a great film. When I first looked at that,
Rough.
I thought she said great fun, and I was gonna say, "No, not great fun.
No, it's not fun at all.
Not fun," but definitely a great film, though. Definitely
Yes.
a great film. And Donna's a great actor. One of our favorite roles of his is Devil in a Blue Dress. Yeah, it's
Oh
awesome
man,
movie.
he made that movie for me. To tell you the truth.
He did. He
Yeah.
was awesome in that movie. Uh, he did a movie where one of the few movies he got to play lead, Traitor. That was all pretty good.
I've never seen it.
Um, it was an indie.
Yeah.
Um, it might have been straight to DVD, but it was actually pretty good.
Yeah. I
Uh,
remember the cover.
yeah,
Yeah. No, he's
and of
good.
course he's in the Ocean's movies.
I love him. I love all three.
Yeah, yeah, they're good. They're good. I actually even like Ocean's 8. I know people don't, but I still like it. Thought it
That's
was
one
okay.
that I have and never. I might have to get that one now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. It's not the best movie in the world, but it's a solid movie.
I
Right.
mean, I like the cast, so it can't be
It's
that
a
bad.
great cast. It's a great cast. Anne Hathaway steals the show for me in that one, though.
Yeah.
I will say that. Um, all right, my man, we made it all the way through.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
I'm gonna I'm gonna put you on a big screen for a second, and you can tell people where to find you online and
All
what
right.
you do online.
Yeah, I just do DVD movie content on 14K Media Wizard now. I used to be Movie Wizard, now it's Media Wizard. Um, I do have a YouTube channel, Ballistic 82, but I haven't really done YouTubing for a while. But if you want to go there, this might be the thing that actually inspired me to go back to doing YouTube. So we shall see. Also, I'm Bellwether underscore Williams on Instagram. That's my personal Instagram account. And yeah, those are my handles. Yeah, thank you, Dell.
I had a blast talking,
Me too.
and I get there a lot less to talk about with Talk to Me than Magnolia, so that's why the second half of our show was a little short.
Uh,
But nonetheless, I'll call it a win for both of us. You liked
yes,
my
sir.
movie, I liked your movie, so
Win-win.
win-win situation. Everybody out there, I will actually be back live Thursday. I'll be by myself Thursday. That's going to be my 500 subscriber celebration slash birthday celebration. We just chit chat, hang out, ask me questions, give away some digital codes, and just try to have a good time for a little bit.
Yeah,
Uh,
congratulations, bro.
do Thank you, thank you. I do have another movie swap coming up early August. So a couple weeks. I will have the plan is to have on Nerdy Film Girl, Tracy. So we're gonna chit chat about some movies then. That's it, everybody. Last comment that I'm seeing. I'm sorry, it is the last couple of comments. Great conversation. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
another
Thank you.
congrats on 500. Thank you also. And yep, that's it. So everybody, we're gonna say good night right here. Bye bye.
All right. Have a good one.